Have you ever wondered what motivates Gen Zs? Today's episode, we have Jordan Finot, a student from the University of Calgary in accounting and finance. Let's jump into the next episode of Gen C. Welcome to Gen C, where I'm Jordan Getz, your guide to understanding what modern generations desire in company culture today. Join us as we explore the key values and innovations that attract and retain the next generation of talent. We're back again with Jordan on today's episode. Last episode, we explored the mind of a Gen Z. In this episode, we're going to learn about what motivates them. Yeah, so Jordan, we'll hop right into it. Personally, what do you think motivates yourself?
What motivates myself, I want to say, is honestly my family. My grandparents came to this country with absolutely nothing. So to me, they were able to come here, build a lifestyle for themselves, for their family, and for their grandchildren. And for me, it's with this given opportunity that they have given me, I can't really let it go to waste. So my motivation kind of stems from them and their success and what they were able to achieve.
And yeah, that's great, Jordan. Like I said, I've known you for a few years now. You're one of the most motivated, hardworking people that I know. What do you think that is, motivating? Like, what do you think motivates the rest of the Gen Zs? Like, obviously there's people like you out there within the Gen Z that are hardworking, have that reason that they go to work and they want to be successful, not just for themselves, but the reason outside of themselves. Do you think that, stems throughout the Gen Zs?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of other people kind of in the similar situation to myself. Their parents came here, their grandparents, or maybe even them came here, and they want to provide a life better than maybe one they had, or they want to continue on that success that's been installed in them. I do think there are others who maybe aren't as motivated. They have this idea of champagne dreams on a beer budget. Like they want certain things in life, but they're not really willing to put in the work on what it takes to achieve those goals.
Yeah, I like that phrase, champagne drinks on a beer budget. Is that what it was?
Yeah, champagne dreams on a beer budget.
Dreams on a beer budget, yeah. Do you think that stems from, what do you think that stems from within your generation? Is that, lack of work experience? Is that just, everything given to them? Where do you think that comes from?
Yeah, I think it comes from a lack of experience, a lack of social skills, a lack of just really being, I guess, in this real world. You kind of see this shift today where society we're now testing out 4-day work weeks. And I think, or at least what scares me is, as we go into the future, productivity might be getting higher, but I just don't see how it can be high on a 4-day work span. I know, speaking from my experience and the jobs I have done, you take construction, for instance, if you're trying to get a site done by a certain deadline, you're not working 4 days a week. You're there 5 days, 6 days a week. So in that aspect, it's tough.
Yeah, no, definitely tough. Do you think your generation accepts the fact that some of them are going to have to work in that kind of industry?
I don't think so. I don't think that's fair to say to everyone. I do think there is a portion of my generation that has a strong understanding of what needs to be done, and those are the ones working hard right now. But I do think there are some who they'll honestly refuse to, in a sense, where it's, no, I'm tired, or no, this is it's a lot. It's interesting.
Yeah, and I think you see that in every generation, right? You see the ones that understand reality, understand what they need to do, understand, the needs of their family, or what it takes to make a living, the hard work aspect. You also have in every generation the people that just refuse to accept reality, right? And that's across all, but I think across top talent, within generation coming up, like you said, totally different mindset. What do you think, I know social media's played a huge role in your guys' generation. What do you think that's done?
I think it's done good and bad. Social media has given us the chance to network. Networking's huge right now. Getting your name out there, meeting new people, making those connections. So in that aspect, I think social media has done us good. I also think social media has done us bad in the sense that you have one-off chances of success where someone was able to gain a tremendous amount of success in a short period of time. It's one of those one-off chances, and I think a lot of people in my generation thinks, oh, because this happened to this person, it's gonna happen to me. So I think it has done good and it has done bad. Again, it allows us to install those connections, network, and keep those connections. You can meet someone in a different country and now you're able to stay in touch with them, and maybe they become your mentor, maybe they don't.
Yeah, and I think it's super important to realize that, you know, social media also allows even my generation, your generation, allows everyone to see what is the opportunity next door.
Yeah.
If there is a better opportunity, again, grass is never always greener on the other side. But with that being said, you know, with your generation coming into the workforce and the opportunities that are out there, and there's so many opportunities these days, you know, when you guys have those 2, 3, 4, 5 years of experience under your belt, do you think that social media will play a huge role in, or do you think your generation will be more up to move next door because they want to test the waters with what they see or what they hear with so much connectivity through social media and technology these days?
I think social media will show people these opportunities. They see what's going on in Tokyo or Japan or Australia, different parts of the world. They see these opportunities. And then there's also political aspects of it. Oh, maybe I can make more here and pay less tax. So I think people will move around. My hope is that people stay. I think that our country should do a good enough job to keep talent here. We should be doing what other places are doing to keep top talent with us.
And what do you speak on, you know, it's so important, I think, to keeping that top talent within our country or North America, or even just next door within the company that you work for, like keeping it at home. What do you think your generation would be looking for that would make you guys happy to actually, you know, attract and then also retain that for a long time and not make it, you know, quick turnovers, because that's hard on the company's resources as well?
Yeah, for sure. It gets into a political aspect, I guess. I think a lot of people in my generation, or at least some people in my generation, they want to make more money, and they're going to go to places where they can make more money and maybe work less at the same time. And then the aspect of tax comes in, where if they can pay less tax, they're going to go somewhere where they don't have to pay as much. You look at Canada, for instance, the housing price is crazy. So for someone just coming out of school, that's another thing that we have to worry about, is place to live. And so you take a place like Texas where housing is cheap, top talent might go there because they could say, I'm making this amount of dollars, I'm paying this amount of tax, and at the end of the day, a decent house doesn't cost $1 million, whereas here it does.
Yeah, and I mean, just coming out of school, it's not cheap to put yourself through school, right? For anyone these days, it can be super expensive. But like you said, it's not only on the companies, but it's also on, unfortunately, the country that you live in's, you know, job to try and keep and retain this top talent, or else you're just gonna lose it, right?
No, for sure.
And then last question here, guys. Jordan, throw you on the spot a little bit. What do you think one word would be used to describe your generation?
I think one word to describe my generation would be unique. I think it's pretty split in the sense that there are half of us who are very motivated, they understand what work is, they have social skill, they're educated, they have experience, and they know what it takes to be successful in this world. And I think there's the other half where they think where they are at in life is going to take them. They think that because they've done step A, B, and C correctly, D, E, F will happen because of A, B, C, and that's, I don't think, necessarily the case. And again, it kind of just stems back to that idea of champagne dreams on a beer budget. They have these big aspirations and they're not really willing to put in the work. So yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see what comes next for the next few years?
Yeah, I think, your generation, I think some people like yourself are going to be very successful. I think also on the other end of it, I think there's going to be a lot of wake-up calls coming through the door on both ends of it. I think on, individuals and also companies with the new generation coming in, and, you guys are wired a little differently with, different skill sets coming into the workforce. But I think if the workforce, and companies really utilize your guys' skill sets and what you guys specialize in, I think, it could be great, and they can learn actually a lot from you, and you can learn a lot from them. That's all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you, Jordan, for being on the show. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. It was fun being here and kind of sharing my opinion and experience.
Yeah, even I learned a lot today, which was really nice. And like I said, Jordan's gonna be super successful. Whatever he does, hard work, and known him for a few years. And I'm excited to see what you do. Thank you, guys. See you on the next episode of Gen C. Thank you for joining us on Gen C. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the evolving needs of the modern generation and how to build a company culture that truly speaks to them.